Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nerd Central. I'm your host, Tyrell Childress, and without further ado, let's kick it to the news. One of Europe's fastest growing creative technology companies, Retinize, has announced that their new animation software, Animotive, is now available on PC. This motion capture software makes the process of designing and modeling a character all the way to animating with motion capture available for anyone with a VR headset.
And action.
Oh, I forgot my line.
This has changed what was a complex, render-heavy 3D production workflow into something that feels like a live-action workflow.
Frank, take it away. What are shadows?
While we might not be impressed for its quality, it does bring the creative freedom and affordability to the animation with a subscription to the software costing less than $100 per month, while renting a mocap studio can cost up to $2,000 per hour. For more details, check out the link to Animotive's website in the description. Now, to get a bit serious, the writer's strike in Hollywood has been in full swing since the beginning of May, when the contract between the Writers Guild of America and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers expired.
Being a writer as a career is kind of at stake. You know, it's not been very sustainable for long, and the negotiations came to like a really hard stop. Like the other guild just didn't really budge on anything, specifically on the issue of AI is what I'm mostly concerned about.
Now, these two groups, one representing the writers in the entertainment industry and the other representing the production companies, couldn't come to a consensus on compensation, including residuals, the future of the writer's room, the creeping threat of artificial intelligence, and more. As such, the industry has been steadily grinding to a halt as productions are delayed due to the lack of writers or because the picketing that's interrupted shooting.
There's just a pile of abuses that have, you can't address them every day. They only negotiate once every few years, so these things have piled on. There's too much work and not enough pay. There's not really a path to middle class living anymore as a writer, and that's what this is to address.
So far, sadly, there's no end in sight. However, the AMPTP and the WGA have resumed talks as of September 20th, and us here at Nerd Central will be waiting for the results.
My name is Percy Jackson. Am I a troubled kid? Yeah. You could say that.
And last, Percy Jackson fans rejoice as we finally get a teaser look at the release of Rick Riordan's vision of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. After actively talking down the movie's release in 2010, Riordan, along with writer Jonathan Steinberg, are taking the classic books you remember to the big screen. The show stars Hollywood hotshot Walker Scobell as Percy, known from co-starring with Ryan Reynolds from The Adam Project. Scobell, along with Ariane Simhadri, will lead a quest across America to prevent a war among the Olympian gods. And with 5 planned seasons for the show, each adapting one book from the series, it's sure to be a wild ride. You can see what comes out of the adaptation when Percy Jackson and the Olympians premieres on Disney Plus on December 20th. We've got a lot of packs to get to, so let's not wait any longer. Next up is Rumor Has It with Brianna and one of our newest members, Caden, with Film Finds. Take it away.
On this week's episode, we are going to be filling in some blank spaces, but don't you worry, I got you. I know this love story all too well. The pop superstar Taylor Swift is once again making headline news across the country, but it seems like her fans just can't shake this one off. There have been rumors of Taylor Swift and Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce are dating. The story first broke out on Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's podcast called New Heights. Travis mentioned that when Taylor came to Kansas City for her Eras tour, he made her a friendship bracelet with his phone number on it. Now, for all you non-Swiftie fans who are wondering, why a friendship bracelet? Well, the Swifties love to make bracelets with Taylor's songs on them and then trade them with each other at concerts. All I have to say to Travis is good job for doing your homework. During the New Heights podcast, Travis mentioned that he wasn't able to give the bracelet to Taylor because he was informed by her team that she doesn't meet people before or after her shows to help save her voice. After the episode was released, the Swifties went to work on trying to figure out what exactly is going on. Fans started to enjoy it when Travis would drop hints on if they were dating or not. Even NFL commentator Rich Eisen joined in on the fun. During the September 17th broadcast of NFL Game Day Morning, Rich dropped several T-Swift puns while discussing Travis's return to the field. Even though that bone bruise and that injury, one would think is delicate. Rich began referencing Taylor's tracks. He's been able to shake it off. Just wait, there is more. Pat McAfee was interviewing Travis and asked him how he feels about his love life being talked about everywhere and if he hates that it is happening. He responded with, "It is funny how much traction this has actually gotten. It's like an old school game of telephone. And no, I don't hate it, that's just life." Travis later mentioned that he told Taylor, "I've seen you rock the stage in Arrowhead. You might have to come see me rock the stage in Arrowhead and see which one is more lit." I know for me personally, I would love for this to happen because I am a Swiftie and a die-hard Chiefs fan. And I'm kind of curious to see what will happen to my hometown of Kansas City with Miss Taylor Swift coming around more. I know we will be seeing a lot more of red, but hey, that is a part of our Chiefs reputation, right? As for Taylor, she recently wrapped up her American Eras tour and is now performing around the world. But she did announce that she'll be doing a second leg Eras tour in America at selected cities. That is all the time that we have for this week's episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on what kind of tea you want spilled right here on Rumor Has It.
Hello everyone, my name is KNWT and I'll be your host for Film Finds. I'll be reviewing films and their Easter eggs as well as details you may have missed. Today's film is Jordan Peele's Nope. Released in 2022, Nope is centered around spectacles and their effects. It's a bit of a different take on horror, but it's still unique to Jordan Peele's style. Nope is the third film Jordan Peele has directed. The movie racked up $123 million in box office sales and earned around $44 million on its opening weekend alone. Personally, I didn't have a chance to see it in theaters the way I originally would have wanted to, but Peacock released it on the streaming services and I watched it the moment I could. Nope is jam-packed with Easter eggs and things that could be easy to miss, so let's get to them. Oh, and spoiler warning ahead. In the beginning of the movie, O.J. Haywood, played by Daniel Kaluuya, listens to the news on his radio while he feeds his horses. If you listen, you can faintly hear the reporter talk about a group of missing hikers. Soon after this, Otis Haywood, played by Keith David, is killed by a nickel that falls from the sky. This nickel is one of the various items from those missing hikers. Otis's death is then ruled an accident and said the items that fell from the sky fell from a plane, but it's not nearly as simple as that. Next up is the beginning title card. As the names of the actors are listed off, we go through a strange-looking area. We later learn that this is the mouth of Jean Jacket. Jean Jacket's mouth is shaped to look like the model of some of the very first cameras, which keeps up with the theme and attempts to catch Jean Jacket on camera. Now, here's an easy one to miss. OJ and his sister M, played by Keke Palmer, go to Jupe's office to discuss selling him another horse. OJ has been selling Jupe their horses to keep himself and his family business afloat since the passing of his father. If you take a peek at Jupe's desk, there's a pair of scissors in front of him. These scissors are the same kind used in Jordan Peele's second film, Us. Because of this small inclusion, it leads many to believe that Nope and Us are possibly connected, but this isn't the case. This is just a simple nod to his previous work. A small detail that shows a big part of Jupe's character, played by Steven Yeun, is the stuffed animals and costumes he makes of the aliens. His design looks similar to the cameras used on the set of Gordy's home the day of the incident. On the surface, this seems like a coincidence, but this further dives into how Jupe never really coped with what happened on the set of Gordy's home that day. He takes his trauma and turns it into yet another spectacle for entertainment and capitalizes off of it. Now this one I noticed more recently with the help of social media and a rewatch. When OJ goes into Jupe's park to investigate and save Lucky, there's a pig standing on top of the sheriff's office. Because pigs cannot physically look up, it isn't eaten. There are very mixed reviews on Nope, but I firmly believe it is a genuinely good watch and an interesting one to break down. Nope is an amazing film filled with references, metaphors, and even a few unsettling moments. That wraps up this episode, and I hope you found it enjoyable. Once again, my name is KNWT, and I'll see you again in the next episode.
While faces aren't something actors have to worry about, when it comes to animation, it's just one of the many parts of designing a character. And stop motion, that's a whole other beast. In the movie Coraline, there were 28 identical puppets for our main character, and a massive amount of faces. But how many? Take your guesses in the comments, and we'll find out after the break.
Unlike other organizations on and around campus, here, the students do it all.
KNWT is a student-run and student-produced television station.
To support this content, you can go to our YouTube channel at KNWT Channel 8.
And watch the latest shows or even enjoy blasts from the past.
Hey guys, Nice job on the analysis of the game last week.
Oh, thanks.
Come on, Jason, you're not a football player.
Tosses it toward the end zone, pass cut, touchdown for Northwest Missouri State. It's Alexander coming up with a catch.
Now that's a football player. Make sure you check out Bearcat Update every Monday at 6 on KNWT TV on YouTube. We got sports news, scores, behind the scenes, and anything to do with Northwest Missouri State University here in Titletown. Check us out.
Each being hand-sanded and even hand-painted, the film totals at 15,000 replacement faces for all the characters, with Coraline herself sharing a third of that with over 6,000 hand-painted faces herself. Now, it's time to face the packs. Next up, Joe with Star Wars lore and Olivia with Anime Stitch.
My name is Joe Huber, back with another episode of Star Wars lore. Today we'll be discussing some of the more unknown things about Darth Vader's suit. Number 1. Let's start with the most reasonable, the suit's function itself. While it can be seen as a massive piece of armor, it had much more important function, and that is to keep him living. Without the suit itself, Vader would be dead. The suit provided a wide variety of life support systems. The most important among them was complex breathing apparatus, housed in the center of his suit, giving Vader relatively free movement. His armor was made mostly of Durasteel, which was also impenetrable as well. Number 2. Vader's suit was also extremely outdated. It was intended this way. The pain he received from everything from the itching of his synthetic skin to the loud respiratory sound to all the pins and needles going into his body. These all kept him awake when he tried to sleep or do anything in general. It prevented him from keeping sane and calm, which is exactly what Sidious intended. He could have gotten a much more upgraded suit such as General Grievous robotics, but he didn't. The more uncomfortable he was, the angrier he was, and in turn, the more filled with rage he became, feeling his dark side power. To escape the armor's claustrophobic nature and pain, Vader has several medication chambers that were built in which he could remove his mask and suit and still survive. He also had bath where he would float around just as a torso to meditate more quietly, as we saw in Rogue One. Number 3. The face mask itself was one of the most painful but cool parts about his suit. He had tons of displays in the lenses which supplied him with a steady stream of data, amplifying his already formidable connection with the Force. His lenses allowed him to see ultraviolet and infrared vision at any time he wants. We also see this in canon comics. Number 4. Under the armor, Vader wore a unitard. It was a giant one-piece padded multiplied body cloth that covered everything below his neck. It was flexible, quilted, blast dampening, and was made of most fireproof space technology that they could find. You could imagine bursting into flames after the high ground beats you. It would be a big fear at this point. There was a little pocket within the suit that allowed access to the cartridge containing chemicals to lessen Vader's perception of pain in times of great need and stress. Number 5. Lastly, Vader's suit had a lot of drawbacks and pains. We know this as I just listed. However, it gives him inhuman strength. With the aid of his powerful force abilities, he was an unstoppable force. He could go as far as tweaking his mechanics in his body to give him more or less force, physically speaking. For example, in the novel The Rise of Darth Vader, he talks about tweaking his forearms and his hands to the point of being able to crush the impenetrable hilt of his lightsaber. If anything were to fall on him, he would be okay, and then press it off himself. As for lifting a human straight over his head, we all know that is no problem. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Star Wars Lore. I'm Joe Huber, and may the Force be with you.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Anime Stitch. I'm your host, Olivia Williams, and this week we are going to travel back to early 19th century London to talk about Black Butler. Let's get started. Before I begin, I would like everyone to know that Black Butler is rated mature, so go out and read the content warnings before you watch the anime. Unlike I did when I was 11 years old, but that's a story for another day. In the story of Black Butler, you meet the main character, CL Phantom Hive, who by the age of 13 lost his family in a house fire, then was kidnapped and was involved in human trafficking. In desperate times, he ends up making a deal with the demon so he can escape and plot revenge on the people who he believes started the fire. And now he lives in the newly made Phantom Hive Manor with his servants, and the demon he turned into his personal butler. And the only wholesome thing about this entire anime are the servants, CL's betrothed, Elizabeth, and the fact that CL named the demon Sebastian after his family dog. That's it. When it comes to the manga versus the anime, there are actually more volumes in the manga than there are seasons in the entire anime. And that's because the anime stopped production after its 3rd season, and the manga is actually still in production today. But don't be so sad, my anime friends. Black Butler is coming back with a new season under a new company in 2024. But back to the anime versus manga. The main difference between those two is the fact that the entirety of the 2nd season is completely original and never shows up once in the entire manga. And that includes the main antagonist, Aloise Trancy. Talk about crazy filler episodes. Now, if I had to choose between the anime and the manga, I would actually have to go with the manga this time, because the manga has a lot more stories and content than the anime does as of right now. Plus, you get to see more from the other characters that you don't get to see in the anime, like the maid Mei-Rin, as well as the character named The Undertaker, who both have major roles in the manga, but not in the anime. So, because of that, I will have to choose the manga. But that's all the time I have for you for this week on Anime Stitch. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're excited for next week's episode, where I will be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. See you then. Bye-bye.
After the break, we'll have a special mid-break interview with one of our newest members, Caleb, with real recommendations.
Oh man, I gotta go. Alrighty. Hey, where do you go every Saturday?
Oh, I go film my show. You know, the show I host with KNWT, where we, do something new with a guest from around campus each week. It kind of pertains to their job or activities that they do.
Yeah, sorry man, I don't get it.
I don't know, man. It's loosely related.
Hey, welcome back to Loosely Related. I'm your host, Jackson Weddle, and this week...
On this week's episode, we take a glance at the Student Senate meeting, dive deep on one specific student on campus, and the Constitution Day event held last Monday.
For the stories that matter to you, watch new episodes of Channel 8 News at 9 a.m. every Monday on our YouTube page at KNWT TV.
Welcome back. I am here with the one and only Caleb McAfee here. We just have a few quick questions for you, like, what inspired you to do your pack Real Recommendations?
So, I just enjoy watching movies, and there's a couple creators on YouTube that I watch on a regular basis. One is Dead Meat. They do a lot of horror content.
Absolutely.
And then there's Chris Stuckman. He does a bunch of everything, and I just wanted to create movie reviews kind of like they do. And yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And I guess if you did have a favorite actor, I know you really like movies, so is there a specific actor that you really like?
That's a tough one. I guess I'm going to go with some of the bigger name ones just off the start. I love Gyllenhaal, De Niro, DiCaprio. The list can go on and on. So.
All right then. Well, thank you so much, Caleb. Up next, we have Real Recommendations with the one and only. And then last but definitely not least, Seth with Movie Tea with Z.
Let's go.
Hey there, movie buffs. Welcome to Real Recommendations, your go-to spot for all things cinema. I'm Caleb McAfee, and today we're delving into the gripping film, Nightcrawler. Let's get into it. Nightcrawler, directed by Dan Gilroy, is a captivating thriller that takes us on a dark journey through the streets of Los Angeles.
Excuse me? Will this be on television?
The story follows Lou Bloom, played brilliantly by Jake Gyllenhaal, a guy desperate for a job and stumbles into the world of freelance crime journalism. Instead of covering regular news, he chases down accidents and crimes at night, and this new obsession gets him into some very unsettling places. Now let's go ahead and get straight into the performances, shall we? Jake Gyllenhaal's portrayal of Lou Bloom is absolutely outstanding. He completely transforms into this creepy yet fascinating character. You won't be able to look away as you witness his descent into a dark world. Gyllenhaal's dedication to the role shines through in every eerie grin and subtle gesture.
It's just 5 blocks.
Renee Russo deserves a shout out as well for her role as Nina, a local news producer. She brings depth to the character, portraying her as a mix of ambition and desperation, making her a perfect foil for Lou's twisted ambitions.
We're running it. Park the car and get your camera.
Dan Gilroy's direction in Nightcrawler is gripping and intense. He manages to build and sustain tension throughout the film, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats. The movie's nighttime setting in Los Angeles adds to the eerie atmosphere, immersing you into the story. You have to give kudos to the cinematographer Robert Elswit for his fantastic work also. The way he captures the city's dark and seedy underbelly using neon lights and shadows is masterful. The visuals in Nightcrawler are like a character in themselves, enhancing the overall experience. Nightcrawler isn't just a thrilling crime drama. It's a thought-provoking exploration of media sensationalism and the ethical dilemmas within journalism. It raises questions about society's hunger for shocking news and the moral compromises made in the pursuit of higher ratings, a theme that is as relevant today as ever. In conclusion, Nightcrawler is a cinematic gem that will leave you both disturbed and enthralled. With top-notch performances, masterful direction, and a thought-provoking narrative, it is a must-see for any film enthusiast. That just about wraps up my review of Nightcrawler. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend giving it a watch. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure you come back next week and see me on Real Recommendations for more in-depth film reviews.
All the time we have today at Nerd Central. And if you like this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to KNWT. Expect new episodes of Nerd Central here every Wednesday at 6.